So in this new section, we will manage to create targets, static targets and other moving targets, and get to destroy these targets with the bullets. So let's get started. So first what we'll do is create a brand new target. So again, we're going to create a sprite. So create sprites and then square, and you can call that target. Okay, so again, and that's done. Once this is done, you can actually, again, I'm just going to try to see what my player is. So again, I'm going to take my target and put it right there. Okay, it's going to create a brand new object called target. So again, we are getting there. We've got something that looks like a target. Now the only thing is obviously we need to be able to detect it. So there are two things that we need to do. The first thing is to create a tag on this object. So again, I'm going to go to tag here, add tag, and then click on plus and click on and press target. Okay, so again, if I select my object again, and again here you can see that my tag is appearing, so click on target. So that's the first thing done. So again, we have an object with a tag. The second thing we need is this object to be collidable. So again, we're going to look at a box collider 2D. So again, you can see that this object has now a box collider 2D as well as a tag called target. So we should be pretty much okay to go at this stage. The next thing we need to do now is to be able to detect this target from the bullet. So what we will do is create a brand new script called bullet, and once this is done, we can then detect if this bullet has hit a target. So create C# script, call it bullet. Okay, so that's done. We can open this script, and again, this script will be linked to a bullet. So again, we will use a function called onCollision, collision enter 2D. So in case a collision occurs, and again here we're going to use collision 2D and COL. So what am I doing there? Let me explain. So again, I'm going to close my conditional statement here. Okay, so the function call on collision enter 2D is usually called when two objects with a collider are basically colliding. When this happens, it will return an object of type collision 2D. Now it doesn't have to be called C-O-L-L, it can be called anything at all. But again, this object will give us more information about the collision. So now we will actually use this object to know what we are colliding with. So again, we're going to take, so from this object we're going to get the game object. Okay, and again from this game object we're going to get the tag. So effectively what we're saying is that we are looking for the tag called target. Now you can see that I use target here just to be consistent. What I should have done and to be more fair is to actually call this target here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to modify it. Yeah, it worked. Okay, so again it's T lowercase, so that's perfect. So if it's target, what should I do? Well, there are a few things I could do. One of the first thing I want to do is to destroy this object, okay, because it's a target. So again, destroy, and again call dot game object. That's done. And then sure, I can actually destroy the bullet as well. So again, destroy, and the game object, we're going to destroy the game object attached to this particular script, which is the bullet. Okay, so if I'm going to save that, take this script, so go back to Unity, get this script here, which is called bullet, and again drag and drop it on the bullet prefab. Okay, so when this is done, if you click on the prefab, what you should see is that this script has been added properly. Okay, so we are pretty much okay to go. You could now test your scene, and you should see that if you move around and shoot at this target, okay, we have a problem here. 1 second there. Let me have a look. The bullet is okay. Now the issue that we have is that my bullet doesn't have any collider yet, you see. So again, we need to make sure that the collision happens. So again, we're going to go to add and go to circle collider, and now it should be a bit better. So again, if I go back and do that, now a small problem again is that my bullet is not destroyed. So let's see what is happening. The first thing I will do is look at my bullet. So again, we've got the script, which is fine. Let's check here. The function is okay. we're looking for this particular target, which is fine. And again, let's check our so the bullet is okay, the target here. So the target has a box collider. So we have everything that we should need. Let me check again. Okay, so that should be okay. Now what you could do in this case is just to print a small message here, just to check that we have a collision that occurs properly. So again, if I go there and if I shoot, okay, and we have a collision, but again, yes. Now what you should see is that for some reason my target here doesn't have a proper tag. So I'm going to do that. Okay, actually I don't know the save yet. So again, the tags seem to have disappeared. Okay, so again, if I do that again and try, yeah, now we're okay. All right, so what happened is that my tag was not applied properly. So now it's working pretty much okay. And again, the idea there is that your target, you see, when you look, if you play a scene, for instance, you should see that your bullet, if you keep firing, is always in the scene. So the problem is that it will actually overcrowd your scene. So what we should do as well in the start function is to make sure that once this target or this bullet has been instantiated, we will actually destroy it after maybe 10 seconds. Okay, it will give the bullet time to actually leave the screen and we can destroy it. So if I save this and again go back to Unity, okay, so if I play the scene, you should see that if I fire a few bullets, if I count 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they will start. They should start to disappear. Okay, you can see that they disappear because now in my start function you can see that I've got this function that destroys all of them. Okay, so again we are pretty much okay here. The next thing that we will do now is to create a moving target. So again, what I will do first is press Apple S or Control S and call this scene level 1 and press save. Done. Okay, once this is done, what I will do is simply to duplicate the target I already have and then to actually modify slightly. So again, I could actually duplicate this. So again, duplicate, call it moving target, which is fine. And once this is done, what you could have to this target is a rigid body component. So again, rigid body, so again, just press rigid body 2D here. And again, making sure that the gravity scale should be 0. Okay, that's done. All right. Once this is done, the next thing we could do is to create a script that will be linked to this new target, moving target. So again, I could move this target in this window. Okay, so again, if I use the move tool, which is right there, I can move this moving target here. And then I could create a brand new script. So again, create C# moving target. And in this script, what I will do is add the velocity to this target whenever it's created. So it's going to be very simple. So again, at the start function here, knowing that this object has a rigid body component, so rigid body 2D component, I'm going to get the component called again rigid body 2D, and from this component here, I'm going to set the velocity to so vector 2 dot down, so it's going to go down because we want this target to fall, and multiply by 10. Again, you can modify these settings if you want to. Once this is done, you can go back to Unity, and again, so there are a few things that we could do. First, I suppose I could take this moving target here and put it there. Okay, so once this is done, if you look at moving target, you can see that basically you've got a script linked to it. And now if you actually check your scene, you should see that the moving target will actually fall directly. So again, if you do that, it will fall. Okay, so again, it works, it does work, and again, if you play the scene again, you should see it falls straight away. Now what we will do later on again is to spawn this target, but to spawn them randomly. So what I could do now is just to change possibly the name of this guy here to target and create a prefab before we move on to the next part of the tutorial.